In September of that same year, the FBI revealed that they had recovered the ruby slippers. But there was no mention of who stole them or who even had them until now. Hello fellow Aussians, I'm the Louisiana Quadling, a Wizard of Oz collector and enthusiast, sharing with you my thoughts, my collection, and a little bit of my musical talent with all of you. And welcome to my channel. Back in 2005, an original pair of ruby slippers were loaned to the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. The slippers were owned by Michael Shaw. Shaw had bought them back in 1970 for a very small amount. Different accounts give different prices. One says $2,000, another one said $2,500, so the best that we can assume is that it was a very affordable price. But on August 28th, 2005, the slippers were gone from the museum. They had been stolen. Countless theories were suggested. The most logical one was that it was probably an inside job. The TV show Expedition Unknown even did an episode on the slippers, but after all of this, there was nothing. No trace, no clues. It was almost as if the wearer had traveled to the Land of Oz and was no longer here. That was until 2018. Now, Michael Shaw, back in 2005, had insured the slippers for $1 million. After they were stolen, that insurance company gave him a payout of $1 million. Pretty good investment, if you ask me. 2,000 to $1 million. That's a really good amount, but in 2018, an anonymous person approached this insurance company telling them that they knew the whereabouts of the slippers and how they might be returned. It became clear, officials said, that the person was trying to extort money from the company. In September of that same year, the FBI revealed that they had recovered the ruby slippers. But there was no mention of who stole them or who even had them until now. A local who lives 12 miles away from the museum has been charged with the theft of the slippers. Terry John Martin. Now, just who is this guy, and does he have a track record? Well, he's previously been convicted of receiving stolen goods in 1986. He also has two other burglary-related incidences that happened in 1987 and 1999, but both of those cases were dismissed. So he at least has a history of either stealing himself or being around other people that steal. But that still just doesn't quite make the case make sense. Okay. So he at least has some sort of history of either stealing himself or being around others that steal. But there is still one aspect of this case that's a little strange. Why would somebody steal the ruby slippers, hold on to them for 13 years, and then randomly decide to make some money off of them? You would think the person would want to do that, like, very quickly, but okay. That same article that I quoted earlier interviewed Sayward Derby, the co-host of the podcast No Place Like Home. Well, they suggest that Martin wasn't the one who stole the ruby slippers. Darby states, over the 13 years the slippers were missing, it is possible, likely even, that they exchanged hands. They also interviewed the author of The Ruby Slippers of Oz, and he suggests that Martin wasn't alone with the theft. I don't think a single individual could have opportunistically grabbed the shoes and then sat on them for 13 years and then gotten himself involved in an extortion case. While both of these individuals bring up some great points, since this is a pretty big hole in the case, it does kind of line up with my experiences with thieves. Back when I worked at a department store, we regularly had thieves trying to steal from the store. Some of them came so much that we actually gave them nicknames. Anyways, all of them had one thing in common. They weren't very good thieves. And once you've experienced enough people who try to steal from you, you can spot them a mile away. For the most part, each of them made it blatantly obvious that they were about to steal. But at the end of the day, this could be the guy. What do you think? Now, this story just keeps getting interesting. The state legislature of Minnesota has proposed a bill to purchase the ruby slippers for the Minnesota Historical Society. Now, we all know that the ruby slippers are at least worth $1 million because that's how much they were insured for back in 2005. I don't live in the state of Minnesota, obviously. Does that state actually have that kind of money to be able to purchase the ruby slippers? Just wondering. And that's saying that they're worth that much, or that's how much they'll have to pay as a minimum. But that also brings up another point altogether. Who actually owns the ruby slippers? The Judy Garland Museum definitely doesn't own them because they were on loan from Michael Shaw. And Michael Shaw got a payout from the insurance company. So is it the insurance company that owns the slippers? Now, if the insurance company actually does own the slippers, someone better start praying to Saint Anthony or something, because there ain't no way that the insurance company isn't gonna want to milk this baby to its very last drop. I mean, when have you ever dealt with somebody that worked for insurance that was actually nice? I'll definitely be keeping tabs on this case. Tomorrow, June 1st, is the first court date. So it'll be interesting to see how this case develops. What do you think? Do you think Terry John Martin is the man who stole the ruby slippers? Was there maybe somebody else that was with him? Or was it somebody completely different? Let's have a discussion down in the comments section. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.